Wake Forest set to come to bat. Numbers 1, 2, and 3 coming up. You see Pryor, Mueller, Fairchild. There's the full lineup. It just like Boston College, exactly as it was yesterday. This is a powerful lineup, 1 through 9. The Deacons with 78 home runs coming in, and they'll be up against Brian Rapp today, Larry, and obviously Wake Forest trying to get up off of the mat from yesterday.
Well, Brian Rapp, probably the best arm of the three starters when you talk just in terms of stuff. He's got a fastball, a couple of breaking balls, and a changeup that he won't use a whole lot. But he's a power guy that's going to come right after you. A junior, very strong-looking, sturdy body. Dropped down just a little bit from over the top to three-quarters, from high three-quarters to three-quarters, and it's given him some more action on his fastball, so he's going to get a little bit more movement.
Boston College using 3 pitchers yesterday to scatter just 5 Wake Forest hits, so this Wake Forest lineup that's not used to being squelched like that, trying to get back after today. And again, I can't say enough about Boston College yesterday after having lost big on Friday night, again 15-5, coming back to shut out Wake yesterday 8-0. So Pryor leads it off for the Demon Deacs. Wake Forest's left fielder, 3 out of 7 for the series. And takes ball 1 to open up the bottom of the first inning here in Winston-Salem. We'll look at Pryor's numbers on the season. 3 home runs on the year, 28 runs driven in. Good cut at a strike, 1-1.
Well, Pryor has taken himself from being a platoon-type player last year to being a pro prospect this year. He's worked his way back into the notebooks of all the scouts that are on hand just about every day in the ACC games.
Pryor, a senior out of Atlanta, Georgia. Squares, drops the 1-1 down, but it's foul.
Made pretty good contact with that bunt. Saw head coach Tom Walter over in the third base coaching box. Dried off.
Indeed, after taking the ALS bucket challenge prior to the game, along with Mike Gambino, there's a breaking ball in for strike 3. Up in the zone, but Jeff Gosney, the home plate umpire, liked it enough. There's 1 away.
Connor Johnstone got a high fastball for a strike, and that breaking ball, if it breaks to the top of the zone, it's generally out of the zone coming in.
Here's Boston College's defense behind Rapp, just like it was yesterday. Martellini behind the plate, very solid. Well, that middle infield, Adams and Palomaki for BC, very, very good. Outfield solid as well. Very good defensive team, the Boston College Eagles.
Boy, they were special up the middle yesterday.
Mueller 3 out of 8 for the weekend. Fastball a little low and outside. And a look at our umpiring crew down at first base. There's Derek Malika behind the plate. Jeff Gosney today. And the 1-1 on the ground right side, gobbled up by Palomaki, and second Deacon retired.
To that ground ball works a lot better when you've got the man on first base that's running on the play, and you got the second baseman moving. Mueller's got great back control. Hits the ball to the right side well.
So Stuart Fairchild now for the Deacs, Wake's center fielder. Not having his best weekend, 1 for 8. Way outside, ball 1.
Yeah, but also a player that's capable of putting a 5 for 5 up there or a 4 for 4 up there too, and that turns it into a better weekend.
Absolutely. You look at his numbers, 11 home runs. Junior out of Seattle, Washington. Hitting .348 on the year, off-speed pitch, 1-1. Two completely kinds of games in this series thus far. The 5 home runs combined by the teams on Friday night. Wind was blowing out as it typically does here, 2-1. And the Deacons took advantage of that. You see the wind blowing again here today out to a right center. But yesterday, Boston College was just a step or two ahead of Wake Forest all day long. Again, shut out the Deacs 8-0. To bring us to where we are today, there's a good hop for Adams. Long throw from short, and Wake Forest is retired here in order. So we've played one inning in Winston-Salem already at David F. Couch Ballpark, about a mile away from the Wake Forest campus. No damage yet. On to the second we go. Chamber of Commerce Day here in Winston-Salem. Beautiful sunshine. Good crowd on hand as Wake and Boston College.
Good crowd on hand. Where would you rather be on a Sunday afternoon? Right here.
Right here, watching these two go at it because of the way the series is unfolded, Larry. Just as I said a moment ago, completely different types of games, and right now at least, I mean, this is developing into a third kind of a game.
Into a pitcher's duel.
It's early.
It's early. Tom Welter trying to get his troops fired up and shake the bats up a little bit.
Middle of the Deacon order do Sheets, Brazil, and Aiello. Brian Rapp getting ready for his second inning of work here in Winston-Salem. So here's Sheets, the Deacon first baseman, national leader in RBIs, as he takes strike one. Sheets with 69 runs driven in. Had a couple of home runs on Friday night. Can't get the breaking ball, nothing in two.
Pretty good over-the-top breaking ball for Rapp. Mike Gambino said that he'll throw a slider and a curveball, but generally will combine with Alex Trezza to figure out which one he wants to throw more. They kind of want to play it by ear. They'll let him throw both in the early going and see which one is becoming more effective.
1-2 pitch, up in his eyes, and that's out of play. I don't think you want to throw it there anymore.
Up in his eyes is pretty well up when you're talking about Gavin Sheets. That's a long way from the ground to his eyeballs.
Sheets standing 6'5" and awaits the 2-2. Got away with another pitch into foul ground, and Sheets is out.
Well, the big shift again put on by Boston College, which had Dempsey over near the shortstop position. So he had a long way to go to catch that pop-up. Sheets trying to shoot something through the left side.
Dempsey back to his normal third base spot right there as the shift is now taken off with Ben Brazil coming to the plate, the Deacon catcher, again today. Was in the DH role yesterday, breaking ball, strike one.
They still shift over pretty well for Brazil. Adams at short is near second base. Dempsey off the line a long way. Friday night's game, they tried the same shift, and then they pitched him away. And Brazil just at the last second stuck the bat out and pushed one towards the left side and snuck it down the left field line at about 6 miles per hour.
So this is the Brazil shift, but not the Sheets.
Correct. This is the semi-shift.
Okay. 1-1 on the ground right side. A slow roller. Palamaki gobbles that up. 2 down. 5 consecutive Deacons retired here by BC starter Brian Rapp. And Johnny Aiello will come to the plate with 2 away.
That's one of the more talked about aspects of baseball these days is the shift and how effective it is and what the percentages say. So Brad Osmus from the Detroit Tigers recently saying they don't employ it, but they're studying it extensively, and it doesn't appear to make that much difference.
Aiello 3 out of 9 for the weekend. Aiello's numbers on the year, very solid. The 15 home runs and the 0-1. That is by the shortstop Adams into left center, and the Deacons have their first base hit of the day, their first base runner of the day with 2 away here in the second. Here's Tom Walter, the head coach of the Deacs. He also coaches third base, as does his counterpart, Mike Gambino. Tom in his 8th season in Winston-Salem with 227 wins now. Aiello with his lead at first.
Program on the uprise. New facility, new clubhouse, training room, players' lounge, batting cage is coming.
Off on the pitch is Aiello as it skips in front of Martellini.
Much as Boston College did, anticipating the ball being in the dirt. And as soon as it hits that turf in front of the catcher, both teams have reacted instantaneously and taken advantage. Nice job by Aiello. We showed him rounding first base. He was very aggressive, coming out of the box, thinking he might have a chance at a double on his base hit.
So Aiello down to second for Wake after the wild pitch charge to Rapp. 1-0 count to Bruce Steele. Steele 1 for 6 in the series with an RBI. Breaking ball in for a strike to even the count at 1-1. Wake Forest, after Friday night's win, 31 victories for the Deacs, and now 14 losses. That is inside. Nice job, Martellini, to keep that one from going to the screen.
You take a look at, first of all, look at the size of Rapp, and I was going to speak about Martellini because we showed how solid he is behind home plate. When you've got legs that big and you move around as well as he does back there, it's showing some agility and flexibility and all other kinds of abilities.
2-1, that's high and outside. Look at Rapp's totals on the day.
2 out of 3 strikes is what you want to throw.
3-1 to Steele. Got him. That's a full count now. Good fastball.
It just looks so big when it's up there. You think you're going to smack it.
Rapp, when you look at him, built a little bit like Metzdorf yesterday, both under 6 feet tall. Payoff pitch. Steele just does stay alive.
I don't know. I don't believe those sizes and weights anyway, because I was listed for 20 years as 6'2", 205, so I don't really believe them.
So which of those numbers is incorrect? Both of them?
They ended up both being wrong, yep. A rookie card had me that way, and he stayed that way.
Payoff pitch. That is a bit low, it looked like. Not by much. That could have gone either way.
So the early indications are that home plate umpire Jeff Gosney is more inclined to call strikes up around the middle part of the plate or higher than he is around the knees. This pitch is pretty darn close, a little bit low.
Tad low. So after retiring the first 5 Deacons he saw, Rapp has now given up a single and a walk with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Still no score. And Keegan Marinpo to the plate. He's been the star of the shows thus far.
Yes, so
defensively.
John Stone buying dinner already. Dessert if he drives in a run, right?
Lifts a breaking ball out of play down the right field side. Marinpo already with a nice catch on a line drive, and then a big-time throw into third base to cut down Palomaki in the first inning.
Both coaches talked about the chemistry and closeness of their individual clubs during the course of this weekend.
Pretty good heat, 0-2. And that ball is thrown away by BC into the dugout. And the Deacons will take the lead.
Well, I'm not quite sure that Johnny Aiello had it planned that way to try to draw the throw. He gets awfully far off on the secondary, wants to get back, can't make it. A little bit high throw to second base, and then just airmailed over to third, and because of that, Wake Forest is going to have a base runner at third base as well. Bruce Steele will get to go all the way from first to third.
It's a stolen base and then a throwing error, and Wake Forest has the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, it really is brain cramp, stolen base. Throwing error. Aiello essentially got picked off and would have been in big trouble with a good throw.
0-2 pitch is high to Marinpo. A ball and 2 strikes. Marinpo with 3 RBIs this weekend for Wake Forest. Third error of the weekend charged to Boston College after 2 on Friday. Didn't mean to, did not go. Actually, 4th error. BC did have one yesterday as well, and that was close.
Marinpo has, through the course of the years, really strengthened himself. He's a strong young man, and that was pure brute strength stopping the bat as he got it started.
Full count. All the fireworks here in the second coming after the first 2 outs.
Think back to Friday night, Wake Forest scored 5 runs in their 6-run second inning when 2 were out.
Runner on third, 2 away, 1 run in. That is high and another walk. Second of the inning to Rapp. Now the Deeks with runners on the corners for the DH, Logan Harvey.
Good at bat by Marinpo. So it looks like maybe the wildness on the part of the infield is shaking up Rapp just a little bit. So Alex Trezza, the pitching coach and catching coach, associate head coach, will come out to have a conversation.
Yeah, a little committee meeting there on the top of the mound, and Tom Walters having a little meeting of his own just out of the third base coach's box in front of the Deacon dugout. So lots of instruction going on here in the bottom of the second inning. Wake Forest with the first run of the ball game.
All those teaching moments when you're in college baseball.
Coach Walter back to the third base box.
That's one thing that's really impressive to watch these guys. As competitive as it is, and you're trying to manage a game, they're still trying to get the point across. Yeah, that's great, but you got to do this, and this is what you could have done, and always teaching.
Harvey 1 for 4 the weekend, number 9 spot. Again, the Deacon DH today. He caught yesterday, and he'll back off the plate. Deeks have scored for the first time in the series. BC's been the fast starter thus far on Friday night and again yesterday. Full on the pitch, 1-1. Or 0-2, pardon me.
You don't really like to use both of your catchers in the course of a game, using one as the DH, and Wake Forest flip-flops their 2 catchers with their middle series, as you said. But it's what you've got. So you take advantage of trying to put the best 9 hitters in the lineup compared to what you have, and hope that nobody takes a foul tip off a fingertip or anything else.
Wake Forest trying to take full advantage of that throwing error and get at least another run or 2 in. It's off the plate, ball 1. Deacons won Friday night. BC comes back to win yesterday. Winner today gets the series on getaway day for Boston College. Breaking ball on the ground. Long throw. Bang, bang play at first. That'll do it, but the Deacs get the first run of the game on a stolen base error combo, and here's how it looked. A steal on the swing, the throw down to second, then the throw into the dugout. And coming home to score, Johnny Aiello and Wake Forest through two with a 1-0 lead here in Winston-Salem. Bottom of the third inning here in Winston-Salem. Deacs with a 1-run lead. We got a tight one brewing here on this Sunday afternoon, about a mile and a half away from the Wake Forest campus. And each team, for different reasons, Larry, different types of situations, each team badly wanting this game today.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see how the conference tournament shakes out with the new system that they have, because it's all going to be based on seeding. So you'll have the number 1 seed playing 11 and 12 or 8 and 9, I think it is the way that it shakes out. And so it'll be interesting to see exactly where everybody ends up. And, of course, Boston College just trying to get into the tournament.
Look at the standings in the Atlantic. Louisville, Clemson, Wake Forest kind of separating themselves. Boston College at the bottom right now. And over in the Coastal, Carolina, UVA, and Miami pacing things there. And Boston College, again, fighting for its ACC tournament life over these next couple of weeks. There's a deep ball to right off the bat of Pryor, gone. ...384 feet. And I think Pryor knew it at the crack of the bat.
Nothing about wind involved with that ball. Now, the gaps are short in David F. Couch Ballpark, but this ball was crushed, and Pryor looks at it, likes it, and gets into the trap pretty quickly.
Pryor with the Deacs' 79th home run on the year as Mueller takes ball one. Just the 4th home run for the Deacon leadoff hitter, but it gives Wake a 2-0 lead. We've talked about the homers all weekend long, Larry, and that graphic right there really kind of gives you perspective. Here's a fly ball to right, just at the warning track. Casey there to pull it down and retire Mueller. 1 away.
We talked about Mueller liking to go to the right side, just a little bit underneath that ball, which isn't always a bad idea when you're going to right field in this ballpark.
Now Rapp set to face Stuart Fairchild, the Deacon center fielder. Got him to ground out in the bottom of the first inning. The 1 pitch on the way. A ball and a strike.
Well, that was the perfect time for the bunt. Dempsey was deep at third base. You forget about that part of Stuart Fairchild's game, but they talk about him as a 5-tool player. Excellent speed, good bunter, maybe the best bunt for a base hit guy on the team.
Missed that one. There's a strike, 1 and 2.
Yeah, not a great effort at it. He wasn't really committed to that one, and Dempsey had been in and then dropped back to a deeper position at third base just as Rapp was getting ready to throw.
Pryor's home run a moment ago. Wake's 5th of the series. 4 on Friday night, none yesterday. Wake only had the 5 base hits yesterday. 1-2 hit on the line, and that'll be a base hit. Alou over to corral it for BC. Will hit single for Fairchild, and he's on with 1 away. So Gavin Sheets will walk into the hitter's box for the Demon Deacs. He popped out in his first plate appearance. We talked about his numbers earlier. 69 RBIs on top of the heap. He's a RBI machine.
Well, see, Tom Walter really gets caught between a rock and a hard place here. Stuart Fairchild is a very good base stealer, could be at second, but then they pitch differently to Gavin Sheets. Sheets has the capabilities to put two on the board in a hurry.
Takes ball one low.
So you don't want to give the pitcher the advantage of saying if I walk him and first base is open, I'm okay, and I can get my ground ball for the double play from the next guy maybe. This way with a man on first, there's a big hole on the right side, and again, Sheets has the great power.
It's in there for a strike, 1-1. Sheets has struck out 3 times this weekend.
You'll get that with a guy that's got 17 home runs.
2 of those came on Friday night in a 6 RBI game for him. Bottom 3 wake up on BC 1-0 with 1 on and 1 away.
Again, the shift employed by Boston College.
Runner goes on the pitch. It'll be a stolen base for Fairchild. His 13th of the year.
There's going to be no chance regardless as Fairchild was going as soon as Rapp started towards home. But now if I'm pitching from the right-hand side, I'm giving Sheets absolutely nothing to hit with first base open. Left-hander on deck, but
time called at the plate. Gavin Sheets, 6'5" junior out of Baltimore. And he's out on strikes for the 4th time this weekend. And he didn't like the call.
And he let the home plate umpire know about it.
Second strikeout for Rapp. Another look at the pitch. Sheets thought it was low, but called a strike, and he is retired as Ben Brazil stands in. Grounded out in his first at-bat. Pitch count at 50 now for Rapp. The bender there is off the plate. Ball 1, and is that a balk?
That appears to be what they called it.
Yep.
Fairchild over to third base.
Didn't see exactly what Rapp did, but quickly called the balk by the home plate umpire, Jeff Gosney. Looked like he came set, Larry. I'm not sure what Gosney saw.
The only thing I could think of was that they'd say he didn't stop. You have to have a discernible pause at the bottom of your set position.
Pitch to Brazil. 0-1.
And that's one of those that really can be iffy for the umpiring crew. And I couldn't tell who called it. Usually the home plate umpire would call it. There's nothing so far. Now watch how quickly the hands come back up.
That's a pop-up to shallow left center. And neither Strim or Alou can come up with it. Everybody is safe. Not sure exactly if that was a communication problem or if the outfielders lost the ball, but the Deacons now have a 3-0 lead.
Well, Ben Brazil figured it was a routine fly ball. You saw that in center field, Strem was straight away, and a long run for Alou. Alou was playing a little bit straight away in left field. That ball had a lot of hang time, and everybody in the ballpark assumed it was going to be an out. Thought it should have been.
So now the Deeks with a 3-run lead. And Brazil standing at second place as Johnny Aiello stands in to hit. late on the swing, 0-1. Aiello singled and scored back in the second inning.
Wake Forest used to putting up crooked numbers, but generally they don't do it with these odd plays like we've seen this inning.
Ball and a strike to the Deacon third baseman with Ben Brazil standing down there at second base. 2 away and a run in. Breaking ball completely fools Aiello, and he's behind in the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
Curveball's a really good pitch for Rapp.
Got his curveball working. Johnstone has his working for Wake Forest.
The wind blows out, so for a pitcher, you're throwing into it, which makes the wind grab the seams of the baseball a little bit more. Seams of a college baseball higher than the seams of a professional baseball or Major League Baseball. So you get more curve to the ball.
Here's the 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's why sometimes, in addition to players getting a year or 2 older and stronger when they get into professional ball, you'll find that their velocity upticks a little bit because the seams are lower on the baseball. Not as much resistance to the ball makes it move through the air faster.
Sunday science.
There you go. It's all the science I know.
2-2. Heater gets him, but again, the damage done as the Deeks get 2 in the inning. There was a big blow. Jonathan Pryor with the leadoff blast to right field, and the Deeks extend the lead to 3 as we head to the 4th in Winston-Salem. Three nothing Deeks. 4 runs, no errors. No runs, couple of hits, 1 error for BC.
Hats for Derby Day was yesterday, wasn't it?
Was.
Somebody putting their hat on up in the stands.
Sloppy day at Churchill Downs yesterday.
Ooh,
Johnny
man,
Adams takes ball 1. Big cut. Didn't catch it. A ball and a strike.
Was up there for some games a couple of years ago and went over to Churchill Downs, and it was a terrible muddy day just like that. I was a mudder, Stan. I wanted to go out and give it a lap, but no go.
There's a good hard strike, 1 and 2. Bit up in the zone again. We were here yesterday during the race. I didn't see who won, but whoever it was a mutter. Had to be.
The favorite.
Look at our crack research staff on
whose
that.
name is on the tip of my tongue. It's a 2-word name, and one of them starts with an A, and I can't put it all together, but we'll get it. Always ready or something.
2-2. That is a solid play by the third baseman, Dempsey. Good throw, but not enough. Still a terrific play.
I was talking with Mike Gambino before the game, and he was talking about this ballpark being a little bit on the smaller side, and he said, you go to my ballpark, and if it's silly to have home run hitters, he said, we've got to do it with defense and pitching, and you can see the defense, a huge part of the game. Didn't get him, but that's a terrific play.
Always dreaming.
Always
the
dreaming.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just I had it.
It was, it was in there.
It was the clues you gave me.
It was in there.
Here's Marinpo, 2 home runs for him on Friday night. He, along with Gavin Sheets, leading the way in that Wake Forest win. All Boston College yesterday, an 8-0 shutout win. And thus far, as we've reached the bottom of the 4th inning, Wake Forest with a 3-0 lead, and Bruce Steele aboard there. You see him between Tom Walter and Brian Rapp with His lead at first base, breaking ball is in there for a strike. 0-1.
You don't want to throw that inside breaking ball too often to a guy with the power that Marinpo has.
Marinpo with 10 home runs on the year and 32 RBIs. We talked about, and we showed graphically the stat earlier, Wake Forest with now, 79 home runs. Boston College has 8 as a team. Runner goes on the pitch, fouled out of play.
It's a Deacon domination on the graphic, and 5 players with more home runs individually than Boston College has as a club. And that, again, goes to building your ball club to the facility that you play in and how you recruit.
This certainly is a park where the ball flies out of here. We've talked about it all weekend. The wind continues to blow out to right and right center. Check swing strike, and out is Marinpo. So he goes quietly. Strikeout number 3 for Rapp. And now the Deacon DH, Logan Harvey. An 0 for 1 day thus far with a ground out to shortstop. Fastball hit pretty hard, but it dies out there in left center. Strim on to make the catch, and there are 2 down. That sounded a lot better than it ended up being for Logan Harvey as the Deacons go back to the top of the order.
Don't you wish they'd just go back to Wood in college?
I really would.
I could pass away happily if they'd go back to Wood in college and put the DH in both leagues in the big leagues. Or make pitchers hit in the American League. Do it the same way.
See, I'm not a big DH guy.
Either, just make them do it the same way. I don't care which way you go. Make them do it the same way.
Throw over to check on Bruce Steele.
Uniformity.
I agree with that. It's why you would do it in one league and not the other. Does it, to me at least, make a lot of sense.
It gives teams an advantage.
It does. And a runner goes, pitch out, bang, bang play, and coming off the bag after a successful steal is Steele, and then he's tagged out at the bag. He goes over the top or right by second base after the successful swipe, and then he's tagged out, and that'll do it for Wake Forest. It looked like he had it stolen, went too far, and then changed the call, and he's out. That kind of day to sit back, watch a little baseball, have a snack or two. Perfect day here in the Triad region of North Carolina in Winston-Salem. Just a little bit down the road from the Wake Forest campus as Jonathan Pryor is set to lead off against Brian Rapp of Boston College, the Eagles starter, who's behind in the game 3-0 as we hit the bottom of the 5th inning. Pryor today, 1 for 2 with a solo home run back in the 3rd inning. His 4th homer of the year, 29th run driven in, takes ball 1.
Love to see those young men that turn themselves into prospects through hard work and keeping after it year after year. If you would ask a lot of the pro scouts that come to these games if Pryor was a prospect last year or the year before, they probably would have replied, but he's had a terrific year. Professional hitter is the word that keeps popping up when you talk about his name. A guy that's learned how to maximize his ability with the tools he's been given.
His average 390 plus right now.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, 1 out of 2 today. Started the day hitting 389. You see, I just kind of rounded up there. I didn't have it exactly. 2 and 2.
You didn't get the calculator?
I told you I took no math in college.
Yeah. Or science from some of the things you've been saying.
Now, wait a minute.
That's not true.
Cut me short on the
biology.
Science. Here's the 2-2. Forgotten all of it.
Just can't imagine you, though, as Dr. Cotton.
Both my college roommates are doctors. Does that count?
Osmosis.
Yeah. 2-2. Hit pretty well. Left field, back will go Alou to the track, and the ball dies there, and there's one away.
The wind going across from left, so that slowed it down just a little bit.
So Pryor retired. Now Jake Mueller will stand in 0 for 2 today. Look at the flags blowing around out there in the outfield.
Do they ever just hang straight down?
No. I don't think. Maybe at 3, 4 a.m. I don't know. Tie it inside to Mueller.
You can tell me about it. I'm busy then.
Need to get a camera and just see. Leave one of our cameras up.
It always blows out. Usually toward right.
Good heater, 1-1.
Used to ride into the ballpark with Keith Moreland of the Chicago Cubs, and we'd go by a specific bank to see which way the flag was blowing there, because we knew which way it'd be blowing at Wrigley Field by the time we got there.
Game prep.
Yeah. One of us was angry every single day.
2 balls and a strike.
Usually me, because it was usually blowing out.
Oh, that's your excuse.
That wasn't my best year with the Cubs.
2 balls and a strike. Good pitch, 2-2. Perfect pitch. Outside corner.
Rapp's got himself a real nice ball game going, too.
Now the 2-2. If I said that Mueller just stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by, does that bring anything back to you?
I would recognize that from the Hall of Famer Ernie Harwell.
I thought that might.
One of my idols.
Get you going.
Youth growing up in Detroit.
2-2, slapped down the line. What a great job of hitting. At least 2, and that's where Mueller will apply the brakes. Good job of hitting.
Third time that he's tried to go to right field. The first time he grounded out to second. Second time a little fly ball to right, and this time he serves it down the right field line for the easy double, and then has his little celebratory antic at second base.
Looked like a little 2-hand Chris Everett
Push
backhand.
it that way. Push it that way, and here's the shovel.
He liked it. He's aboard with 1 away. Fairchild comes in to hit 1 for 2 today.
Keep digging.
Breaking ball stays high, ball 1.
Every team's got a signature something or other going on these days, don't they?
What are you known for? What's your thing? Visit to the mound by Gian Martellini, terrific catcher for Boston College. We highlighted him on Friday night. Out there trying to make things square with his starter today. Brian Rapp, who entered the day 2-2 with a 3.83 ERA. Stuart Fairchild's numbers out of Seattle, Washington. Long way from home.
Parents are in town this weekend.
Singled and scored back in the 3rd inning. He's also grounded out today. Times the breaking ball, drills it into center field. Strem comes on. Mueller to the plate. Throw is cut off, and Wake Forest leads it 4-0. RBI for Fairchild.
Good pitch recognition and good discipline by Fairchild to stay back in the strike zone, stay back in the plate, and wait for that ball to get to him. He just punches it into center field. No chance whatsoever.
So Wake Forest extends its lead to 4-0 on the 7th base hit of the day. Now Gavin Sheets will stand in with 1 on and 1 away. He's been busy. A couple of home runs, driven in 6.
Atmospheric conditions are good for something far.
Toss over to look at Fairchild. More than twice as many steals as any of his teammates. He has 12. Next closest would be Pryor with 5. Good lead at first. Now with Sheets at the plate, any chance anything's going at first?
Well, with Fairchild's speed, there's always a possibility he's going. I think, though, that they've got Rapp on the ropes a little bit. A home run by Sheets would really put a little bit of icing on the cake, and I think at this point you want him to have as much freedom of mind to swing the bat as possible.
Another throw over.
Now, that's not to say that Tom Walter hasn't surprised me in the past, but wind blowing hard to right, the year Sheets having, I think you're looking for a crooked number more than anything.
It's outside. Ball 1.
The shift again on, so there's a lot of room with Dempsey at the straightaway shortstop position, so his third base spot completely open. You see how hard the wind is blowing.
Yeah, pulling back from right field down that line where it's only 300 to the foul pole. Going to have a visit from the Boston College dugout.
Alex Trezza is going to just reiterate what they would like to do to Gavin Sheets, how they want to pitch him, exactly how they're defensing him. Maybe have some words about the throws over to first base that he's been making.
Going back to Sheets, with the wind blowing out and the right field line at 300, for a hitter with his strength, it's not much more than a pop out.
Oh,
got a good chance of going out.
He misses the ball, and it's still got a chance to go out, as you said. Now, having said that, the majority of home runs that he hits are hit with such velocity. They're 3 irons getting out of here. They're the low rising line drives that are keep carrying. He doesn't hit the high fly balls. In fact, he sometimes gets cheated on home runs because he gets topspin on the ball, and it brings it down too quickly, and it bounces, and it comes up short of the wall. One of the things they've worked on this year is getting his back hip down into the ball to get uppercut spin to it.
Tried to get under that one, and he did too much. Alou is there in left to make the easy catch, and there are 2 down.
Let me just finish that thought a little bit. They try to get his backside to go down into the baseball so that he's getting backspin on the ball instead of coming over the top and getting the top spin, which makes the ball come down faster. Does that make any sense?
It does to me, but it's too late for me.
You wish you'd have met me 30 years ago? Or Bill Salento?
I hit 1 my whole life. I don't know if I was 10 or 11. Just 1. Ben Brazil will stand in with a double today and an RBI.
I led my little league in home runs one year.
I don't doubt it. Who was second best in your little league?
Jimmy Phelps.
Jimmy Phelps.
And Marty Stefani, yeah.
Mine, Doug McQueen.
Really?
He's also my tailback.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, now you were a highly recruited quarterback. You were college. You were college bound until hampered by severe knee injuries, plural.
They still hurt today. They hurt right now. Runner goes, throw down, and not in time. Easy steal for Fairchild. His second stolen base of the day.
All the throws over by Rapp, and Fairchild had it figured out just right. Got a terrific jump. Pitch was easy to handle for Martellini, but he had no chance.
Got a good jump.
Yeah.
And
good speed.
Yeah, it's over. 1-1 to Brazil at the plate. 4-0 Deeks, bottom of the fifth inning. Popped up right field. Casey, trying to shield his eyes from the sun, is there to make the catch. And that'll do it for the Deeks. Here in the fifth, Wake Forest gets another run. Pitcher Connor Johnstone, he has worked his way through 6 innings and allowed only 3 hits and no runs.
It appeared that Tom Walter walked by him and gave him the one more inning sign, and then Walter walked down to the bullpen, so you would have to imagine Griffin Roberts is going to be in charge of the 8th and 9th, but a nice job. He scattered the ball around the plate a little bit early on, and then finally got himself locked in with his breaking ball. And a lot of times when you're wild with your fastball, if you start throwing your breaking ball, it makes you bend over more, which makes you bring your fastball down. So the correction is made with a different pitch, but it alters your delivery a little bit. It forces you to follow through, get all the way through the ball and get extension to get your breaking ball over. So he's had a good breaking ball, and that got him back to a good fastball.
Worked his way beautifully out of a bases loaded jam in the second, and then strands 2 more in the 6th.
You know, that's one of those things, Stan, that seem like the easiest thing, and you know it in your head, but sometimes you get caught up in the emotion of the game, and you don't always track properly, and you forget to yourself that that's what you need to do to find it.
First pitch to Johnny Aiello is well off the plate, 1-0.
So whether it's your catcher that tells you or your pitching coach that mentions it to you, you don't always make that correction. Now, at the big league level, you should be able to do it to yourself, and that's why you take the walk behind the mound to give yourself the pep talk.
Pretty good breaking ball there from Rapp, 1-1. Aiello 1 for 2 today with a run scored. He singled back in the second inning, struck out to win the third. Fool there, ball and 2 strikes. Aiello was 0 for 4 yesterday. On Friday night, different story, 3 for 5, scored a couple of runs. Going to have to be a throwdown by Martellini. Gets Aiello for out number 1.
Not sure Aiello realized that ball was going to get as far away from Martellini as it did. If he had taken the same approach running to first as he did on his base hit, thinking about 2, that might have been a bang-bang play.
1 down for Steele. 1 for 1 with a walk today. Another good breaking ball, but it drops low, ball 1. Steele was caught trying to take a base in the 4th inning after a base hit. Appeared to have the base stolen, but slid past the bag and was tagged out.
You mentioned earlier that the only dirt on the field is the mound, so Wake Forest works on those slides and knowing that you're going to have a long slide. And he hooked his foot, but then he felt it come off just a little bit, and instead of putting the foot down, he tried to get the hand back and couldn't make the transition.
Good heat. A ball and 2 strikes. Another good pitch off the plate, 2-2.
Really good pitch.
lifted down the right field side into the seats. Nice play off the one hop.
That was an easy play. That's routine for those kids.
Yeah.
They're regulars down there, man. They've got that area figured out.
2-2 to Steele. Out on strikes. Caught looking. Fifth strikeout for Rapp. 2 away.
Thought the other pitch was better than that. Well, especially when you've got to reach over. When you set up outside and you reach across your body to catch that ball, pretty good chance it's outside.
Now Marinpo with 2 away, bases clear. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Did walk back in the second inning. He was Rapp's third strikeout victim. Back in the fourth inning. Takes ball 1. Tarpon Springs, Florida native, Marinpo.
Lovely area.
Couple of bombs on Friday night. Takes a strike. Wake Forest had 4 home runs on Friday night. 1 today. Pryor hit 1 in the third. Deacons now just 1 home run shy of 80 for the year.
The program record for Wake Forest, 89 in 1999. And of course, the equipment started changing after the 2010 season. That's not a strike.
3 balls and 1 strike.
Change the bats, change the balls.
That is again out of play. Another souvenir for somebody.
So before the 2015 season, the seams on NCAA baseballs were lowered from .048 inches to .031 inches, which is similar to the minor leagues, but still higher than major leagues. Got that?
Wait a minute. Got it. 3-2 pitch. Good heater, and Rapp strikes out the side. Here in the 6th inning, Aiello, Steele, and Marinpo all out on strikes. We head to the 7th in Winston-Salem. Wake Forest still on top by 4.